Hello, everybody. Sean Higgs coming at you. Another Winner Circle podcast, NFL edition. Chip Chirimbes, Doug Upstone, NFL NFC WEST in about a minute and a half. But before we get to that, you're here. Like, notification bells on. Let's do it. Maybe you want to thumbs down this puppy. Maybe you're an AFC South fan. I don't know. Maybe you hate the Niners and somebody else. Whatever team you like, comment it up. I'd like to hear your opinions on your upcoming season of your team. Put it in the chat. It's fine and dandy. Listen, a little preview. You put the notification bell down so you know when, yes, we do NFL, college football previews, but the free picks, MLB, NFL, college football, they'll all be here. You need your notification bells on for that. And, of course, gamblersworld.net for all of our best bets and top plays. And speaking of top plays, NFL, talk about this since the month started. Less than $25 a week for our NFL early bird special. I can't keep beating it to death like it's a horse, right? I mean, $25 a week. What are you doing? Honestly, if you don't do $25 a week, stop watching. Because you damn well know we're making more than $25 a week with the free picks. So dig into your pockets. I shouldn't say that. The 30-day package is a great deal as well. Guaranteed, show you a profit. And that'll be all sports in September 1st. Get on board. Doug, why won't they get on board for the early bird?
I have no idea. I have no idea. And I know we're talking NFL, but let's not forget college too. Okay,
yes.
We got college football coming sooner than the NFL in terms of regular season. So got the same deal. So take advantage of it.
Right?
I'm starting to shout like Sean now. Jesus, what's wrong with me?
Oh my goodness! Chip with the American flag. Tell them to be American, Chip.
Coming up.
Tell them, Chip. Buy American. You got the flag behind you. Tell them to buy American.
That's American football. Pete Rozelle signed that one.
All right, let's go. Here we go. NFC West. So, interesting division, to say the least, right? You got the Niners off a terrible year. Seattle redoes their reshaping there. The Rams, and they're doing Ram things. And then there's Arizona, who we keep waiting for. And I want to start there, even though they're not the favorite in this division. But back-to-back 4-3, 4 and 13 years for these cats after their breakout year. Everybody loves Murray. I look at the schedule, favored in 7 of these games, a lot of games, 15 of them in that 3.5 range. Now, they're not the 1s, 1.5s, which I kind of think are really toss-ups, but 3s are pretty much a toss-up when it comes to the NFL, Chip, right? Your 3 is basically your home field, like, all right, you should win this game, you're home, you maybe pull it out late. Can you think they can go over? This team, to me, real fast, week 1, they're at the Saints with either a rookie or a second-year, basically, rookie quarterback for the Saints. If they can't win that game by 20 points, I know we don't take one game and say, woe is me, the sky's falling, but that's a telltale start to their season. They better put a bean on them with Kyler Murray if they expect to improve.
Okay, you are talking about Arizona, and
yes.
We're waiting for Murray, right? I mean, every
Right.
year I keep saying, should he be playing that center field for the A's? I don't know, but we keep waiting for him to get good, and the question is still out on him. I mean, you have Purdy of San Francisco, and yet people don't even, I think, have the bookmakers have faith in him, or the public have faith in him, and yet the Niners, off a terrible year, are favored in the West. And the Rams are right behind them, and everyone's high. I mean, out here, Doug, I know you know, and Sean, you may have heard since you've been out here. The Rams are I think, the wise guy and the professionals' opinion to win the division. They're a dog, and they just are relying on Matthew Stafford to be healthy. His back is questionable. He hasn't taken one snap in the preseason yet, so everything's hinging on Stafford as far as the Rams are concerned. But I think the public image of the Rams is the last thing they remember, them almost defeating Philadelphia at Philadelphia in the playoffs and really playing them toe-to-toe the entire game. So I think that's the impact from last season that's carried over with the Rams. But if they don't have Matthew Stafford, I don't know how they win.
No, I was gonna roll into the Rams second with the Stafford stuff, but Doug, with the Arizona talking about a guy who wants to be Stafford quarterback wise and putting up the stats in Murray. What do you think about the club?
Yeah, Kyler Murray, for the first time, I think in a couple of years or a few years, played 17 games last year. Okay, so he played the entire season. So that's a positive. The defensively, they went after a lot of draft choices on defense. They signed a couple other guys. So they're looking to improve the defense. Their schedule, you mentioned New Orleans, and they also, their first 5 games, mostly against teams that are at their level. So they have an opportunity to do better. But haven't we heard this before out of Arizona? Okay, to where ready to go. Here it comes. I like their coach Gannon. I think he's done a good job. I watch these guys; they play harder the last 2 years than they did at any time previously. But is Kyler Murray a winner? And is this a winning organization? My answer is no. What is it? 7.5 or 8.5? I forget offhand what the win total is.
The win.
Doug, do you think Murray puts the work in that's needed? I mean, is he prepared?
Well, the word was he wasn't for a number of years.
Right.
Since that time, I think it's gotten better, and I think it's been, and I think the change in coaches was the big difference in there. Gannon just demanded it. Okay, it's like if you want to be the quarterback of this team, you have to be the leader, and you have to be the leader by example. And if you don't know the game plan and any of the other stuff that you heard, he's playing video games instead of studying his playbook. Whether that was true or not, the perception gets put out there. You're labeled that, okay, and so it doesn't matter whether it's true or not. So I would go with this team. I don't like them. They closed last year 2-5, even though they were playing better. Still don't know how to win games. So I would lean towards the under against the Cardinals.
4-13, 4-13 the last 2 years. After that 11-6 year, they think, it's breakout time.
7.5?
8.5.
Wow. You expect them to get, in order to win that bet, they have to go 9-8, and they've only won how many games the last 2 years?
8 the last 2 years.
8.
Oh, okay, 8. Okay.
8 games the last 2 years. 8
That's
combined.
a tall order.
And you got to go 9 this year.
I think 9's a tough number to get to.
Well, let's roll into the Rams, because Chip, you were talking about the Rams before.
I already did that.
I know you did. That's why I said we're going to go into them. But that's where I was going to go second because of, like you said about Stafford. Like, okay, they brought in Hopkins because the Cooper Kupp left or whatever, and they got Nakua or whatever as their other receiver. He's a stud there. But Adams for Kupp's obviously an upgrade. Kupp's a little older. But Stafford, that guy's a hit away. He thought about retiring the last 3 years. 13 times this year they're going to be favored. I mean, who their backup?
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to make a difference to the backup. I like McVay, but let's remember, after that Super Bowl, he almost thought about retiring with the way their salary cap was and all this kind of nonsense. He was thinking about, all right, we kind of went all in to win the Super Bowl, and now we got to kind of piece together. Does he really want to do that? And, he's already at the top. Why? If he's got a suffering Arizona Cardinal 4-13 run for 4 years, did he want to be part of that? And they got a tough schedule. I mean, they're at Philly, they're at Baltimore. They got Detroit in a rematch. Team they play. And you mentioned them, right? You saw him almost win in Philly. Look at that. Maybe they could have won in Philly. Maybe he makes that catch and they're going to the Super Bowl. I got to take the under in this one. I got to go under and like a no playoff on him. I think there's a lot of hype on him, but on the same token, kind of like Tua when we did the Miami Dolphins and the AFC East, he's a guy I'm concerned about, especially long term for a season bet. I'm on the under in that one there, Doug.
Yeah, I can understand that, but the one thing about the Rams ownership and actually the front office as well, with McVay wanting to, or entertaining the idea. And I think the only thing with it, he was just exhausted. I think physically and mentally exhausted for the whole process. So I think that played a lot into it. But you know what? They have quickly turned around. I mean, they took a step backward, but they didn't disappear. Okay, like everybody expected them to. So they've got a lot of really good young players. I mean, Stafford's the whole key, and he's 38 this upcoming season. So, and if there's back problems now, does it get worse? I mean, I fully don't expect him to play a full season. I think there's going to be some sort of nick or whatever that's going to keep him out a couple games. The question is it 2 games or is it 6 games? So that's kind of from the betting standpoint. Yeah. Davante Adams, I think Davante Adams is you mentioned the word upgrade. I'll say upgrade in the context of he'll be on the field. Cooper Kupp the last couple years was not on the field. I don't think Davante Adams. I think Cooper Kupp is still a better deep threat than of Davante Adams is at this time. I mean, just still has the ability to run. Puka is fantastic. We know that, Puka Nacua. And I also like the idea they're moving Tutu Atwell into the slot. I think that really opens up.
I like that kid.
For that offense.
I like him.
Yeah, so I think their run game is steady. It's not fantastic, but it's steady. They move the chains, or they keep on the chains. The defense, super young last year, primarily young again. But that front 4 that they have, I mean, those guys are top 6 right now. Okay, if they improve some this year, they're top 5 or top 4. I mean, they're that good. There's questions at linebacker and at corners. They got some guys that are in their 30s. So you got to get a pass rush. I think so there's 2 things for the Rams, whether you like them to go over the 9.5 or not. Sean doesn't like them to go over 9.5. I don't really have a strong opinion, to be honest with you. I think they should get there, but I mean, the Stafford thing has to, I don't know how you make a bet knowing what you know about Stafford right now. So Stafford and the ability of the defense to get a pass rush, that's the whole deal for the Rams. So it's kind of what you like. I don't have a
really just like as Chip was saying with Stafford there. He's a guy you got to worry about. The win total's 9.5. They're favored in 13. They got guys. I like the running back as well, right? Chip. Nakua's a nice young player. The defense is solid. But you don't want to get the Stafford is a question mark. Is it 2 games into 6? That's going to be a huge swing on those wins if he's out for an extended period, Chip.
This whole NFC West to me is it's a toss-up between the Niners and the Rams with the wild card with the Cardinals here, because Murray, we're waiting for Murray. I think he's the whole key to the conference. I mean, if Murray plays great and all of a sudden Arizona wins 11 games, what happens then? I mean, then you got the Niners who are have 7-8 losses, and the Rams, maybe they don't get to where they were last year. But they would be the long shot, I think. And New Orleans, we can't even count. I mean, they should be in the next lower league.
If the one thing I think that Chip, I like what he just said here. If there's a team that you would look at that does, and this happens every year in the NFL, some team in one division you had already written off, okay, right. But all of a sudden they put it all together, and then when you look back at it, how did they do it? And I think Arizona is potentially that team. I'm not saying that team. I think potentially, because the defense is going to be better. The offense now has some players. Okay. I mean, I'm not a Murray fan. I think at best he's probably maybe a top 15, maybe, depends upon your point of view. Yeah. I mean, I'm more in the 15 to 20 range, with him. But if everything comes together, I think Gannon's a good coach. And if it just, sometimes those things just work. Those games that you lose by 3 points, you start winning by 3 points. All of a sudden, you're a 10, 11 wins team. So I can see it. I can see it.
McBride's a great tight end. The guy could have kept a touchdown pass last year. Harrison looked in his flashes. It could be a dangerous team. It could be another flameout. That is the problem with Murray. You don't, what you've seen the up and down from him.
Yep.
Doug, that's what you're saying, Doug's like what happened with Washington last year.
Yeah.
How they won those critical games and a Hail Mary pass, and all of a sudden they evolved.
Right. Gain some confidence. They start to believe.
That's it. Little luck, and then all of a sudden you're like, look at us. We're the big guys here. We're winning games.
All of a sudden, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Oh, yeah. There's no about surprise teams. We'll save the Niners. We'll save the Niners for last and hit Seattle here, because this is an interesting team here, right? So you get rid of Geno. clear out the wide receiver room. You bring in Sam Darnold, who had here's a team, right? We're just talking about the Washington Redskins. How about the Vikings last year, 14-3 with Sam Darnold? He's in town with your said wide receiver like Derek Cooper Kupp. I look at this schedule, and again, got the early lines here. You got 11 of them between that 1.5 and 6.5, and this is a tough team to read here because you have Arizona, who's looking to break out. You have the Rams, who have the veteran, are making that push towards Super Bowl contenders, and you got the Niners looking to bounce back, who we'll talk about in a second, who just had everything kind of go wrong for them. This is a team to me that could be not the Viking team for last year, but it could surprise, but it could also turn into an Arizona team that wins 3 to 4 games. I'll start with you here, Chip, with Seattle, because this is I don't have a real feel on them. I can look at them and be like, all right, it'll be more of a week-to-week kind of see how they play and get them in a good spot kind of team for me to bet on, if I bet on them.
I think Seattle exists for players like Tom Arnold. I mean Darnold. This team is there just to have a journeyman quarterback that everyone's done with, and that's why they exist. I don't think they can compete in this conference this year. I don't. Even though they always seem to surprise, don't they? I mean, maybe because Pete Carroll was there and Gino was there, and occasionally he'd come up with an incredible game. But I really don't see Seattle unless they get the Walker running or someone else running the ball. I think it's going to be a long, rainy, dark, dismal season out there.
You mean like the weather?
Like the weather. You said he's like a journeyman guy, which he is, obviously. Jets, Carolina, bounces around. Doug, the guy he hasn't really gotten a shot. He threw like 20-something touchdowns with the Jets on a bad team.
Right.
He put up a little bit of numbers in Carolina. He had a great coach in Minnesota, and you saw what he did. This poor guy, and this is, I'll die on this hill with the quarterbacks. These rookies come in and they get stuck to a bad team and they get bounced around, and you never get to see what they could be. Last year, Darnold, could it be a flash in a pan? Maybe, but I've seen him throw 25 touchdowns with now, 3 teams? So he's not terrible. He's just not given a shot because some guy comes in, I'm the new coach, I want my guy. And he's not the only one. There's so many Mac Jones, we'll talk about him on San Fran in a second. Right. These guys get kind of screwed over nonsense. That's another show we'll do one day down the road. He came
out way too early. He was not ready when he came
Most
out.
do. Most of them do, Chip.
But he wasn't. And some guys take a little longer to mature. Now, he may have matured this year, but what do you think would have happened if he had won a playoff game and had a great playoffs? What would they be doing? Would J.J. McCarthy, or would they have gotten rid of Darnold? And I would have let McCarthy sit for a year. I think they were relieved, and they got what they wanted when Darnold, misplayed, shall I say, during the playoffs or down the stretch. I think they were actually pleased with that because they wanted to move to McCarthy.
Well, we're going to find out how good that cat is in a second, right there, Chip.
Well, you don't know if it's the right decision or not yet.
No, you don't, but we're going to find out because he's starting on Monday Night Football in Chicago.
Oh, he's in trouble.
Back to Doug and Seattle here with their little rebuilt offense, and I don't know. Again, I'm no firm opinion on this team from me.
Well, I look at them. They were 10-7 last year, which was a surprise. Okay, they threw the ball probably more than they should have last year. Okay, especially when they got 2 good running backs. But here's the thing. Okay, so you got a second-year coach who now has a new offensive coordinator, 2 in 2 years. You got Sam Darnold in what? What is this? His 6th, 7th?
I was going to say,
offense? He's
not even like year 10. Poor guy.
What's that?
I was like, year 10 of the guy. He's like 25. He just seems to be everywhere.
Right, but he's been in all these offenses. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, what would the career of? You can go down the line. Patrick Mahomes, you say, any Hall of Fame quarterback. If they didn't 25, what's that?
Sam Darnold's 25.
No, 29.
29.
29. Yeah, but I mean, so he's been in all these different offenses. So it sounds like this one's going to feature more play action passing, which is Darnold's strength. Okay, so that means running the ball more. But here's the thing. When was the last time? I mean, you guys watch play this. When was the last time that you watched football and you thought Seattle had a top 10 offensive line? Besides never.
Never. Even when they were to go to Super Bowls, their offensive line was always banged up and sketchy.
Terrible. They got hot at various times. They won a Super Bowl. They should have won two. So that's a concern. If you can't run the ball, Darnold's got to throw the ball. Well, we kind of saw a little bit what happened with Minnesota last year at the end of the year with that. Defensively, and then besides that, if he gets more pressure, because they can't run the ball, here we go. Same thing happens again. Defense should be pretty good up front, and their secondary looks pretty good. Young but talented, and so I think they got some things going on there. But their defense still isn't that great. So, is anybody willing to put all their eggs in the basket to Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold had a lot of really good players around him last year. He's not going to have the same thing this year. So I'm going to go under 8.5 with Seattle for sure.
Yeah. Is it 8.5 or 7.5? I'd go under 7.5, honestly, with you if it's plus money.
Yeah, I did see that one. I actually wrote down 8.5. So that one I'm sure of.
All right.
That I said.
Yeah, I would even go if I could get a plus if I'm laying a 120. If I could get plus on the other side, because you're right, better team, better coach probably too in Minnesota. That guy's does a good job there. Yeah. So
I'm not saying McDonald's not a good guy, not a good coach, but because we don't really know for just 1 year. However, the difference is you got a guy that's a quarterback coach. Big difference.
I agree. We're going to look at the final team here with the Niners. 10.5 for their win total here, Chip. Favored in 15 games, but look at this. I mean, a lot of close ones here. Seattle, Houston, Rams, Arizona. They're all plus or minus 1.5. Tampa Bay. And is this the kind of like I've said this before, a rubber meet the road kind of moment here for Purdy, because we saw him get to that championship game, get hurt. Like last year's team, it just started in August at training camp. I want more money. Guys are getting hurt, but a lot of outside noise. It just continued, and the schedule-wise, short weeks. They're on a short week. They're facing the Rams off by. It was everything that could have went wrong with them. I kind of like them in a bounce back spot here. I mean, they're favored in 15. Seattle, I think they could sweep. I know Arizona kind of plays them tough, but still Arizona. I like the over. I think the Niners are a bounce back kind of team this year. Now, do I think they're better than other teams in the NFC? No, but I can get over their 10.5.
Well, Doug, it appears that they probably will go over because they have the easiest schedule in the NFL, and people have taken note of that out here. They were under 500 last year. Am I correct? Weren't they? And Purdy's secure. He's got a pretty good contract there, and I think they're going to stick with him for at least 3 years. Is the way I see it, Doug. I mean, they just locked him in, and they're happy with that position. Whether could ever be Johnny Unitas or Burt Jones, I don't think so. But he can be Billy Kilmer, and he can be efficient and efficient enough to get you there and possibly even win, because he just
hold on, Bill.
Don't make mistakes.
Can he be Elvis Grayback for the Niners? Could he be Elvis Grayback and Jeff Garcia?
No, he's better than that. I don't know if he's better than Jeff Garcia. Billy Kilmer knew how to win, and I think Purdy's got that kind of intestinal fortitude.
But Jeff Garcia was pretty good.
The thing with Purdy, and I think the one thing that I think we can all agree on is that he seems to be smart. And I think that quality, you can overcome some deficiencies in your game, just from an athletic standpoint, if you're smart. And so one of the things we saw last year that he struggled with was accuracy with passes when he got more pressure. Because in his first couple of years, I mean, he was thrown from a lot of clean pockets. That was not the case last year. On the run more. And so I'm certain that he worked to get better with that, and to learn how to be calmer in the pocket. And he's going to have to be, because the offensive line's not as good as what it's been. He has gone from great receivers to good receivers. Okay, so that's a big change here. And McCaffrey's 29, and he's going to be less explosive. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't think he's going to be the same guy at 29 that he was at 27 when he was completely healthy. And his history before that with the injuries that he had. So I just don't think he's going to be the same guy. Not that he won't be good. Okay, I'm just not sure he's going to be, let's call it MVP level anymore. Defensively, I think.
Yeah, he's MVP.
What's that?
No, he's more in the.
No, I was saying he was like MVP. The guy. Think about that for a second. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Doug, but he was an MVP kind of guy. Like everybody, like, oh, MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, and now like his comeback Player of the Year. Like, why would it? Again, I'm just interrupting you here, but like that would be something to look at for him. If you think he's going to be. He used to be a favorite for MVP. Why wouldn't you take him for comeback player of the year if that's the kind of year he's going to have in a bounce back? But go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah, no.
He could,
like I said, he could be a really good player. I just don't know who'll be as dynamic as what he was. Okay, I'm wrong. I'm fully, I'll own that one for sure. Defensively, I think they're going to be better. I think that having Robert Saleh will make the defense better. I think they still have some veteran talent. They got somewhat younger the last couple of years in defense, so I think they have that. You got that last place schedule. That's quite a swing, to go from the record last year to get up to 11 wins to go over. But it seems like it's all there to do. So I would take the over as well, Sean. And Chip had said, easiest schedule. You had a lot of everything that it was just a perfect storm of badness last year for them. So you look at that, it's an easy over there. Not an easy over, I should say, but you can see them getting there, and you're not going to be shocked, right, Chip? And like let's be honest with McCaffrey.
I'd be shocked if McCaffrey. The guy went out. Daniel Jones is going to win that comeback player of the year at 40-1. I gave you a month ago.
You did in our AFC South.
Favorite to be comeback player of the year without a doubt, and he's key. But he was slight when he was playing at Stanford as a running back. I in my mind I had him more of a receiver type player. Mm-hmm. I don't think you can take the daily punishment that the NFL inflicts on you. I mean, 17 games is taking a beating like that. He's a great player without question, and he's a great runner, and talent-wise, he's got it all. But like Kevin Durant, every once in a while, this guy's going down.
Chip, last year when he played a quarter and he's out for the year, nobody knew he was hurt. Yeah. No one knew the guy. And this year, he looks good in camp. He looked great like last year.
Mickey Trout at the Angels. Sorry.
Seriously, last year he's like, oh, it looks good. This team looks good. The guy ran the ball twice and he was out for the entire year. And all they're saying in August before he he's primed to go. It's another breakout year for the guy. 2,000 yards.
It's a tough league. It's a tough league.
Hold on. It's a tough league, but nobody knows the guy's hurt. Nobody on that team. They kept that under wraps. How did they do
that? And they didn't get fined. That was the other thing.
Out of the blue, he's out. Why? He's got a broken leg. What? Or whatever the heck was wrong with him. Like, just something. Niners. I do like the over. I think as much as last year was the year for it to be a swoon and everything went wrong for them, this year I think could be a little a bounce back spot for them there, though. Yeah. All right, guys.
One last thing too. I'm sorry, just to throw this in, and I never like to get excited about the hardest schedule or the easiest schedule going into a season because it almost never plays out. Okay, they got the easiest schedule. They're on easy street. You know what? We're good. Yeah. Put the money in the bank. I'm going to go spend it now. Okay.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, all these teams that were supposed to be, 6-15 or 6-30, whatever it is, 6-12, all of a sudden they're 12-5. Okay. They're half a dozen turn out to be. And the same thing with the hardest schedule. You think, oh God, they're an impossible schedule. Then 3 teams get injuries, lose key players. You play them at that week and you beat them by 20. Or you lose, So it's a good discussion point and something interesting. But what happens during the season when they say at week 12, so far this team has played the toughest schedule and they're 3-9. That makes sense to me.
Makes you a better team.
And it's a perfect point there, right, Jeff? Because everybody last year was like, Niners, you're playing division champion, Super Bowl contender. Yeah, how'd that work out? They probably went from if it's like a scale of 1 to 10 on the toughness, they probably went from a 9 or a 10 down to like a 3. And like Doug said, guys get hurt, things happen. It's nice at the beginning of the year to look at.
To survive, you got to have a backup. They're going to have to come in and play at some time. I mean, these quarterbacks are just open games sometimes.
And the other thing too, now this isn't so much in the NFL as it is in college. When they say some team, well, like Indiana last year, they went 11-1, okay, and they said, well, they played an easy schedule. They didn't play anybody. I mean, first thing, it was Indiana, so that's my first point. Second of all, is that okay? Well, those teams would have been better if Indiana would have lost to them. Right. So they would have had a better record overall. Yeah. So the schedule wouldn't have been as easy, but they would have had to lose to make that happen. So
yeah, it's funny. Indiana beats a team. Well, it's like, oh, they didn't play a good schedule. Michigan, Ohio State, and Oregon beat them. Well, look at this. Yeah. Look at this. It's a win. We beat them.
Just look at the coaching of that Indiana team, and you'll see what's going on with them.
Yes. So, yeah. Anyway, so enough college football talk.
There we go. Hey, we got college football games. All right, so that was our NFC West. Put your comments in. You're a Seattle fan. What are your thoughts on Seattle? Look, not a huge paragraph because you could probably go on. Like, what is your team doing quarterback wise for the future? That'll be interesting there. Arizona, is this Kyler Murray breakout after 2 years down? Do the Niners stay healthy? Do the Stats Padford, as I like to call him, Pad Statsford, Mr. Stats, does he last the entire season? I think it's going to be a good little NFL season, but I think the NFC West is going to be a nice little battle as well. Maybe a surprise team, maybe a total bomb 4-win squad somewhere in there. We will find out. You'll find out all year long here on the Winner Circle YouTube channel with our pre-pick videos daily. Football Friday live every Friday. And, of course, when you want our best bets and top plays at thegamblersworld.net. Early Bird NFL, $5.29, less than $25 a week. 3 7/38 packages. Again, the 3-day package on a weekend during football season is the best deal in town. Actually, it'll be like the third best deal after the 7 to 30 in the season long. But they're all great deals. 3 7/30 are guaranteed for that time period. Get on board today with Doug, Chip, and myself. Have a great day. Again, put your comments for your NFC West in the chat section. Thumb it up on the way out. Gentlemen, nice chatting in with you. Good luck, everybody. Bye-bye.